Good morning and welcome. It is Monday morning, the 14th of April 2025. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jenny McCormac and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, and that's here in the UK. Morning Caroline, thank you for joining us so promptly. Let's get the messages up so I can see who's who. I hope you've had a nice weekend. It's a fairly bright morning this morning. We have variable weather over the weekend. So we'll see what today brings. I've played around with the lighting already. I've had the blinds open, then the blinds closed because it was too bright. And now the blinds are back open again. So hopefully we'll be all okay. Excuse me, I've got a tickle again this morning. So our stamp set of the week this week is Painted Lavender. This became available this time last year, and it's now on the last chance list, which means it's available now only while stocks last. It was originally £19. It's now £9.50, so really good value. There are dies that go with this as well, that not only cut out all of these elements, but they also cut out some additional elements too. And I was inspired by our class in Buckingham last weekend, or just weekend just gone, and these were the cards that we made. So we've got a card with a tear off bookmark, that's this element here, and I scored this with our blade from our Take Your Pick tool, but if you've got, you could use a craft knife if you were careful with a ruler and just do little bits and pieces, dashed lines going down. Often people have trimmers that have got a perforating blade, so you could use that. So we made this card here with the tear off bookmark. We made this one here using basically just the papers, and then this one here just a straightforward Z-fold card with an element on the front. So these were the inspiration really for our selection this week, especially as the stamp set is on offer. So there are 11 stamps in here altogether, and you've got this very sort of fine detail across the bottom with some flower heads here. You've got different types of flowers. You've got a single stalk, and then you've got the multiple bunch stalk here, and then some foliage, some other flowers, and some butterflies, and then the single one I think I said. So a really nice, really easy to use stamp set. Let's put it down a little bit. I've just moved my camera down. I mustn't forget that I'm nearer this end of the table and not the back. So the inspiration brought me to use the papers, which is what we'll be using for coffee and card this week. And the papers unusually have carried on into this next catalogue, which comes out in May. So I've cut up a whole selection, and these are beautiful lavender and foliage papers. As you can see, we've got this one here, there's the one there, we've got detailed ones here. This is part of a larger panel, and on the backs we've got a selection of colours. Excuse me. So we've got Lost Lagoon. This is quite pretty with the white foliage, and then we've got more of the lavender. So the colours in here are Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, and then we've got Lost Lagoon, and potentially a little bit of Pretty Peacock, a sort of darker blue. So loads of panels for everybody to choose from. So we're at Coffee and Card this afternoon. Here's another one, the small lavender panels here. Morning, Catherine. Thanks for joining us today. So, almost too many to choose from now. Let me just see. Maybe I'll just go for an all-over design like this. This is quite nice too, with the Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. So it depends on whether you want a contrast. Maybe I'll do that as a little bit of a contrast, I'm not sure. I have cut some horizontally as well. Most of them are cut vertically. So that's going to be my choice of those. I've got some basic beige card. So I wasn't decided quite how I was going to do that. So I've got one side opening landscape, one side opening in portrait. Oh, you never use the stamps with the tiny flower heads. These ones here. Is this what you mean? I think I've used that on here. So I stamped it in Pretty Peacock and then just add those little flower heads. I don't know if you can see that or not. Just. And for the panels, I've cut 3 different colours to coordinate with the papers. So Highland Heather, Lost Lagoon and Gorgeous Grape. And then I'm using the smaller panel, which is what we're going to stamp onto. And these obviously fit really nicely onto there. And then that's going to go onto our backing, whichever one we choose. I think what I'm going to do is stamp it first and then decide which piece I'm going to use. I have gone for a slightly larger set of these same dies. So the one that I've used here is actually the same as the white layer here. Okay, so let's get cracking. Just some simple stamping today and then putting those together. The butterflies are very cute, I have to say. And then you can use this one with any combination really, and you've got this set here. So let me see, maybe I'll do one of those to show for Catherine. So it's almost as if I designed it that way. I can assure you I didn't. That will fit on there. I've got the butterflies and those tiny little flowers. So let's do that as one. I might add another stamped one just so you can see the full side of that. Let's grab a block. I've got the 3 ink pads. Lost Lagoon, Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, and obviously you can stamp off to get a lighter version. So I'm going to use Lost Lagoon, which reminds me I need to order another one because I normally keep 2 of every ink pad. Do you think I can find my second Lost Lagoon? Nowhere in sight. Okay, so let's pop this on the block and let's just try it out on here. So there we go. You can see that. Probably can't see that detail on the grid paper. So let's pop this down here and it fits well on the bottom. Like so. And then I've got the little butterflies. Let's just pop those on another block. And just going to try a little bit of Highland Heather for those. Now you want just a very light touch for these butterflies. Just going to stamp it on here. And I might actually stamp it off. No, it's okay. I'm going to keep it as it is, but a very light touch is all you need. I have, amazingly, re-inked my Highlands Heather and my Gorgeous Grape inks. It's got a bit of an angle to it, hasn't it? So those there, and then we'll add the dinky little flower heads, and according to the stamp set, this sort of goes down and up, but I think you could stamp this either way to suit. And I should have done those before I put my little butterflies on, but let's have a look and see. Okay, that's fair enough. I think they're all nice of this set here. I might stamp this off and see. So I'm just putting it at different heights, and you could turn this upside down as well if you wanted to. There we go. You can see that on there. And I've got flowers here with no edge, so I'm going to clean this stamp and just add a little bit on that edge. So good morning to anybody who's joined us since we started. So I'm just going to ink up that edge like that. Just so I've got some extra foliage where my little flower heads are. And then I'm going to add a sentiment at the top, and then just mount this together. So it needs to be fairly small sentiments, so I've got time to celebrate, happiest birthday. Those would both fit. Could do with maybe just a thanks or something, which I had ready and now can't find. Oh, there it is. Or hello. Let's see. Or thinking of you. That might fit better. Yes, there we go. Right, just pop those on there really quickly. Thinking of you. And I'm going to stamp that in Highland Heather. Just try it out, make sure it's all working okay. There we go. So there's that one there. Hope you can see that okay. I should have left the butterflies and done those after. And let's just do another one with more of the bigger images, just so you can see. There we go. And so we've got this one here. We've got the foliage. I think what I'm going to do is put the foliage in the background. And then add maybe these two here. sort of in between. So I'm just going to turn that round so it's okay. I just want this as a little bit of background, so I think I'm going to stamp this off. You could also use something like soft sea foam. So I'm just going to stamp it. So, stamp it off. I'm going to bring this one down a bit. So, there's that one there. Maybe I'm going to be sensible and put my sentiment in at this point. Just put a little thanks in there. I'll do that in Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape. You could also go for, I mean, you do get lavenders and what have you in different colours. You have that sort of pinky one. Is that French? No, it's not French lavender, is it? It's another name. Okay, so there's my thanks on there. And then, yep, let's add this one. Get rid of that ink on the edge. So I hope you have a nice week planned ahead. It's of course Easter weekend, this forthcoming weekend. And let me see which way this goes. So this goes with the single bud really at the top. So I'm going to use Gorgeous Grape. No, I'm going to use, it'll come to me in a minute, Highland Heather, stamped off. Like so. Like that. 2, 3. And then I'm going to add the detailed one, and you can either do it in full strength Highland Heather, or you could use Gorgeous Grape, for example. Just going to try it with Gorgeous Grape, see what it looks like, but I think either would do the job. And again, oops, wasn't very hard on there. It's added a bit too much ink while I picked it up. Try that again. I've got a cat meowing at the window. There we go. So this is Gorgeous Grapes. I'm just adding this little bit of detail in here. So, and I'm just going to add a third one in, but I'm just going to ink up part of this and put it further down, just so I've got a little you know, sort of difference in height really. There we go. Okay, so quite a different look from the same set, and obviously you could do this one as well with the foliage and then the flowers at the top. Okay, let me close these ink pads up and just put these together, nice and simple. So 3 colours there, Gorgeous Grape, Lost Lagoon and Highland Heather. Those are my 2 panels. Let me clean this one off. Put my thanks up there for the minute. And I've got some basic beige card. And then let me just see what I might use. So this might work quite nicely for this one. Or maybe I need to do that, a bit more balancing. I've got Highland Heather. It's that layer, that works quite nicely, like so. And I can just put this one on as a vertical card, like that, with a top fold. And so there's the 2. Let's just try reversing those. Wonder what we think. Do we like it that way round? I can't remember which way I did it now. Or that way round. So this current one where this has got mostly Lost Lagoon, I think that might be the winning combination. Let me bring it up to the screen so you can see. So there's that one and that one. And I have got some twine, so I've got some braided linen thread here that would work either to wrap around or to add as a bow. I don't think I need it for this one. And I probably don't need it for this one actually, but you could add a little bow on there if you wanted to with a glue dot. But I think that might be the winning combination. And just see if anybody else has got any other suggestions. So Catherine says she's done pinks, blues, oranges and creams. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That way, says Caroline, but I don't know which way she meant. Sorry about that. And let me know if you think that's a good combination. In the meantime, I can put these 2 layers down in preparation. So let's just grab some glue and do that. Oh, you see, that's so pretty too. Oh. Oh, I might change my mind. So that has got a fair amount of Lost Lagoon on it, and it's got more of the flowers. So, last minute change. That's going that way round. Just to be awkward. So this piece measures 10 centimeters by 14.35. I'm going to pop this one flat onto there and then pop this one up, the whole panel then up on dimensionals. So a little bit of glue on there. And that's going to go onto that. Grab my dimensionals. turn that over. One in each corner, and then probably two in that centre to support it. Three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, nothing like a last minute change of plan, was there? So I'm going to put this slightly high, like so, and then, yes, that's pretty too, isn't it? That's a bit full on colour. So again, this is going flat onto there. This is going onto that layer, and we're done. So Painted Lavender stamp set is on our last chance list, which means it's effectively being retired, and so available while stocks last. Just put that like so. Just going to do 5 on this one. And then you could stamp the inside of your card as well with a little bit of the lavender or the foliage. There we go. So let's do that really quickly just to finish off. So on this one we've got that fine detail across the bottom, but what I could do is just move those out of the way. So I'm going to put it across here with my Lost Lagoon. And you don't need to have the whole thing, so I'm just going to have this going off the bottom like this. Just vary the height. Actually, I'm just going to mask that slightly. What have I got? Spare piece of card here. So just do the right hand side of that. Like so. I knew that was going to happen because I've got the fold and I've folded it back. Let's put that back in. Just wipe that edge. Because I use card, I should have just used a piece of paper. There we go. There we are. Oh, and I could put the little flowers on as well. That's fine. Island Heather. I'm just going to work out again which way this goes. I've forgotten between there and now. Way. And I'm going to leave this full strength on here and I'm just sort of doing with a few gaps here and there and varying the height as well. There we go. So there's the inside of our card, if you can see that. Okay, so there's card number 1, and then for this one on the inside I'm going to stamp that foliage stamp in Lost Lagoon. Oops, not quite attached to my block. I think I'll be alright. Like so. And a little bit of that flower, and we're done. Put that one away. There we go. So there's our inside, hopefully you can see that. And our finished card there. So that's Painted Lavender. I hope you like that. We're at Toaster this afternoon for coffee and card. And then we're in Brackley at Esquire's tomorrow morning. And depending on numbers, we'll be there at the Lounge Cafe Bar on Friday. But of course it is Good Friday, so it just depends on numbers at the time, but I can confirm that. So thank you so much everybody for joining me this morning. I hope you have a great week ahead, depending on where you are and when you're watching. And thank you so much for joining me today, and I shall be back here Wednesday morning for one of our online exclusive products. I hope you're able to join me for that. Do take care, have a great week ahead, and keep crafting. Bye for now.